Hey, YouTube world. It's Mac time on the MacCast, and I'm Master Mac. I hope you're hanging in there during this crazy time and staying safe as possible. Now, some of you who know me know that I identify as a total top. This means that I don't bottom in sexual situations. Whenever the subject comes up, though, I get folks rolling their eyes. People generally don't believe that total tops are real, but are they right? To help me with this subject, I decided to talk to my friends Darius and Mark. They are very honest, straightforward people, so I know I can trust them to be candid about this subject. Plus, Mark and I have a history with this particular topic. We've been friends for a while now, and there's an attraction between us, but we've never come together to make any kind of babies because he's always insisted, typically anyway, that I be open to bottoming as well as topping, and that's been a deal breaker for me. He thinks I'm one of those guys that just have hang-ups about bottoming, but really it's just I don't have an interest about it. So before I get into this conversation with them, please note this conversation is full of adult language, so viewer discretion is advised. With that said, here we go. There you go. All right, so what can I call y'all? So why don't you introduce yourselves, to who are you?
You can find me on the internet as Orpheus Onyx.
There you go.
Okay. You can find me as Membreño.
Mems, okay. All right, gotcha.
We are friends, roomies, hang buddies, and besties with Mac, right? Right?
And general cuties, complete fly guys. Yeah, that's true too. Well, first, let me just flat out ask the question. So, are total tops a real thing that exists?
Well, define it. It's total tops who are so I've had generally two types I've experienced. One who are they don't like to bottom because they're afraid to emasculate them, right? It's more internalized homophobia type of thing. So I think they could bottom, they just don't do it because they have a whole bunch of other issues. And I've met a couple other tops who are super tops who would like to or who are curious about it, but they just have a very hard time bottoming.
Yeah.
I would say those are the two main categories, I guess. But in general, I don't really believe that there's total tops. I feel with enough persuasion and connection too, to be honest, it's not a thing. It's I don't know.
I'm a little older than Mark, so I have to say, in my experience, there's no such thing as a full top because depending on the also Mark should tell you his type, his whole top daddy turn type.
Well, hold on. Before we go though, you just called him Mark. So can I call you Mark on the video? Or
yeah,
do you
you can call me Mark. Yeah.
Mems,
whatever. It's
Mems. You can call me Darius too. You can call me Darius. It's fine. Trust me. All my freak is on French Street.
Okay.
Trust me.
There you go.
Yeah, no.
All right, so Mark, what's your type then? What's he talking about?
Well, Darius is talking about. Traditionally, I've gone over older, beefier men. Because I don't know. If I was gonna be with a woman, I'd be with a woman, right? The whole cliche thing, but I don't know. Ever since I was coming out, I've always been attracted to that. It hasn't been until recent that I've been fucking around with younger dudes too, but. I always my daddies.
34?
No, 25, 22.
Yeah.
It's possible. Miracles do happen.
Okay.
But yeah, I know traditionally it's that. And I don't know if it's always, it's weird because I actually have a really good relationship with my father. I have daddy issues, but I like daddies. I guess, I don't know.
A lot of people like daddies. It's not weird. It's a thing.
Yeah. But in general, I don't know. I love the whole power dynamic, power reversal type of thing, right? So typically, in porn, you see the daddy fucking every dude. So I like.
So in this scenario, you would be okay with topping your daddy? If you or is
not your actual you're playing that, not your actual
no not your father.
No, that's gross. That is God fucking awful.
We're not going there today.
I typically
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Because there's a you're talking about daddies, and then so the topic is are total tops a real thing? But I think there's expectations for daddies to take on the dominant role, which oftentimes means to be the top, right? So that's why I asked if you don't mind topping them, because I'm like, if you don't believe that there can be a total top, then it stands that you would probably be okay with topping them. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, no, there's no such thing as a 100% top, because I've seen dudes.
So wait, do you guys think that I'm lying when I say that I'm a total top? Then
no, I know.
I mean, wait, you can't have it both ways. Either I am what I say I am.
You gotta let me finish my sentence. I actually believe you are a total top, but I do believe it's kind of like this idea. Me and Mark had a conversation about this a while ago. That what happens is I think people become open to different experiences with the right person at the end of the day. So, I think with you, I think you are a total top because you just never met anyone to meet whatever magical, mystical requirements may be needed for you to get.
There's a magical door that needs to be unlocked.
There's a magical door. It may be mental.
There's a Prince Charming out there somewhere that has the right keys, which is saying.
It could be Mark. Who knows? Who knows who it could be?
I mean, Mark is hella cute, but I don't have a desire to know.
No, I mean, this is my experience. I don't believe there is, but again, I mean, there's so many it's statistics, right? It's like you have to do a total top, you have total bottom, everywhere in between, right? And so obviously, right, the extremes are going to be a very, very, very small sliver of the population, right? Everybody's going to be else in between, right? Me myself as a person, as an individual, with what I've had so far, I've only been out 4 years or whatever. I keep forgetting. I can't say one way or the other, right? In my experience, I don't believe there's total tops, but I probably only have a little small portion, right? So it's possible. I just think that the people who say they are total tops, they fall more or less those two categories I mentioned earlier, right? Either they have some internalized homophobia, or they would legitimately want to, or it's just difficult physically or logistically for them to do it, right? And so they don't. And so, but that being said, I can think of two daddies, I guess, in particular in my life or whatever, that have said they're total tops, right? And I ended up fucking one, and the other one almost did, or whatever. But it just didn't end up happening because we ended up stopped talking for other reasons, whatever. But he was open to the idea, right? And so it was from those two people, that's what I was agreeing with Darius, is with the right person, not that I'm forcing on it. I've always told them look, if it happens, it's great. I'm okay with our dynamic we are now, but if you're ever curious, sign me up. I'll be the fucking first one there to fuck you, type of thing, right? But yeah, I had one ended up happening just randomly. I was what? Yes, it'll happen, right? And the other one was we were curious about it. He was curious about it. He's oh yeah, I just need some more time to trust, and this and that, and and I think that has a lot to do with it, right? It's the connection, the trust, the chemistry. And so if it fits, it works, right?
Yeah.
So
bottoms run the fucking world. Let's be honest.
Well, okay, let me. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you. Go ahead.
No. I'm just really quick. Is just bottoms run the world, and so I don't think any man, if you're a queer man especially, that has sex with other male-identified folks, I just don't. You could not have not thought once about oh, what does it feel like to get fucked up the ass? If you're fucking dudes up the ass, at some point you have to at least say.
Okay, well, that brings up another question.
Yeah.
That brings up another question. What if you have bottomed in the past, but don't have the desire to bottom in the present or going forward? So can you claim to be a total top if you no longer bottom? Because that's where I'm at. I started off
There's a world. I think there is a world. It's an interesting question, but I think there is a world like that, right? I think there is a world where for a variety of reasons, some could be emotional. Because I know dudes that literally wall that stuff off. It's where they're oh, I was dating this person, I was a total bottom.
Yeah, well,
but then I was dating this person, I'm out. Now I'm a total top.
Here's the analogy. Have you guys been with women, I guess?
No, I'm a gold star gay.
You, Mac?
No. Just my
okay, so the general things are right. Some gay men have been with women, right? Do they consider themselves bisexual because they have had sex with women before? No, right? They just have sex with women because whatever society, whatever told them they need to do. but they fully identify as gay. Like they don't have any sexual interest. So it's the same thing, right? I couldn't agree with the fact that if you have gotten fucked before and then you don't like it anymore or whatever for whatever reason, right? And then you're only topping, then yeah, you could be a total top.
Yeah. I mean, I'm full disclosure on that. In that, yeah, in my early 20s, I was definitely a verse top. Mostly fucking, but I mean, I was open to it.
Wait, first, what? Wait, what?
What's
this is the first I'm hearing of it.
A verse top?
Yes, this is the first I'm hearing you were a verse top. Like literally, you hide.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not knocking it without having tried it. I mean, that's for sure.
Exactly. That is my point. That's the point right there. You were like, "Oh, I'm fucking this in the ass. I wonder how that feel."
I mean, yeah, basically, yeah. I mean, yeah. And I even liked it, but it wasn't better than topping. So, you know, and it didn't feel as natural as topping did for me. Yeah. So, and then I think as I started getting more into exploring like doming, then it just became my primary interest. And I was like, I'm not really.
So you may have already gone through your bottoming phase. See, that may be, you may have already done taking all the dicks you want. You're like, I'm good. I've done it all. I've tried that. And now you're
right.
Like, and like maybe like 30 years from now, you'll be like, you know what I want? I want to pick up my ass.
I mean, yeah, maybe. I guess those people probably want that. Waiting, we'll see. We'll see, I guess.
I volunteer tribute.
Oh god, that's so funny.
Well, let me ask you this: Is there a such thing as a total bottom?
Yes, 100%. Yes.
That's wrong.
Unfortunately, like, and I don't know why.
I think it's way more common.
Yeah. Well, I think it's like a lot of reasons because, like, I've had sex with bottoms that are like legit, like their dick doesn't get hard when they're having sex, like they can only come through anal sex in some way, like there's that kind of person. I mean, like, this is, I'm not trying to throw shade at anybody, to each their own. I'm not, what God gave you is what God gave you. Trust me, I'm a fat son of a bitch myself. Sure. But like, some people have very small penises. They have very micro penises or small penises, and like either it is a thing that they really enjoy because they just enjoy it, or you know, other rationales behind it. But I think also maybe it is society telling them like, oh, you have a small penis, so you should be a bottom, right? Whatever that may be. But anyway.
Well, I don't think that. Well,
I think big bottoms too. But the point.
That's what I was about to say. I'm like,
yeah, I mean, the point is, I think the reason there's more total bottoms.
We both had a couple of big things on bottoms.
I think the reason it's because probably your G spots in your ass. Right? Yeah. And so, like, I think it's just natural physically that more people will be bottoms because, like.
Besides the price.
It's more natural for people to be bottoms?
I mean, yeah, biologically, yes.
Really?
It's not necessarily based around penetrative, but to that point, I think there are a lot of guys out there who also, once again, like, get that prostrate milking or whatever's going on in the butt, and it's a better feeling than just like I'm the dom top, like pumping fucking you.
Well, I guess a top doesn't have to be dom, but I agree with what you're saying.
But a top, rather than.
I agree with what you're saying there. But also, I feel like if you can have a person be 100% bottom, you can also have a person be 100% top. I think it's, for whatever reason, we don't see that. I don't know why, but it seems like the natural way should be that.
I think 100% tops are definitely more rare. And I think it's because
it's a black swan. Anyone can be a top. Not anyone can be a bottom. So when I meet someone who says that they're 100% bottom, I'm like, you are doing yeoman's work. You are doing the work of a god. Like, because I'm a big believer that bottoms rule the world. Femme bottoms, male bottoms, women bottoms, like wherever you identify, if you're considered passive or bottom, like, because like otherwise, what do you have? You have a whole bunch of dudes standing out there with their rock hard dicks.
I mean, I'm not saying bottoms aren't a crucially important part of the puzzle.
But I know, but to that point, I'm just saying, like, I think that's why I think if I were to say, like, there's a larger percentage of all bottoms versus all tops, I think that's why, because you have...
Why is this a question?
I don't know. Maybe I just had a couple drinks. Maybe I just had a couple drinks. I don't know.
I mean, is it like a... I was just curious. I mean, I'm asking Mac.
Okay. Oh, asking Mac about why this question altogether. Oh.
Why am I asking this question about are total tops real? Because I often get pushback from it. So if I tell someone that I'm a total top, I get eye rolls. I get but when we really gonna fuck or whatever, I get persistence at times, and so I just wanted to I basically just wanted to see how people feel about this. Like, does everybody agree? I feel like most people agree with y'all that total tops are fake. So this is why I figured.
I would say rare, not fake.
Yeah,
hella rare, a black swan event.
If I meet one, great, awesome, right? It's kind of like asking the questions like, are aliens real or something, right?
Yeah,
you're not like
it's like rare as aliens.
Like the universe is real. Like that's a really good analogy. The universe is really fucking big, and am I to assume that we're the only planet that can house sentient intelligent life? No, but have we seen sentient intelligent life? No. We don't know.
So here's what I think what's happening here. Here's what I attribute this to. So the same way that a lot of men will claim to be bi before they come out as gay, I think there's the same thing happens with men claiming to be tops. Some of them can't, like you've been saying, Mark, they can't accept who they really are, what they're really into. So they claim something that isn't true. So we see that and we experience that, and then I think we fool ourselves into believing that that's how it is for every single top out there.
You have a certain relationship with somebody, right? Like with some people I'm more dominant, with some people more submissive, with some people I can do both, they can switch, whatever, right? It just depends on the chemistry, it depends on the vibe, it depends on a bunch of different things, right? It depends even on the time of day, I guess, right? Like sometimes in the morning, whatever, right? And it just,
I don't know, that's not really time of day does not affect me as much.
I'm just saying, it can switch. It depends on every relationship you have with whoever, right?
Yeah.
It's very different, right? You're not the same. I feel like, at least for me, you're not the same with everybody, right? And for people who try sometimes, who are the total tops, who do feel like they're going to be masculine, whatever, you can kind of tell that they're trying to be the same person with every single thing, right? And it's kind of disinteresting, in my opinion, because it's you're just being the typical,
Yeah. It's like the Dom top whatever guys on Just for Fans right now who are stuck in quarantine. It's we can only watch so many jack-off videos, dude. Do something different. Here's my analysis. Can I get a little real here for a second?
Yeah, get real with me.
I feel like a lot of times we find a lot of these only tops or total tops in a lot of people of color communities, specifically Black, brown, and other communities, right? And in my experience, when I was a little bit younger, because I'm fully versed now, I've always been versatile, but I'm fully versed now. I went through a stage of being mostly bottom and a stage of being mostly top, and now I'm a stage of fully versed, whatever, do whatever. But I remember when I was younger and hooking up with guys in college and whatever else, and dudes would be very much so oh, I'm not gay, oh, I'm not a faggot, oh, I ain't no sissy, ain't no punk, because ain't nobody fucking me in the ass. That is literally it. They will suck your dick, they will kiss you, they will do all kinds of things, they will let you fuck that, they will, you can let them fuck you. They will do all kinds. They'll do a three-way, they'll have all kinds of activities and sexual fun, but they're just don't shit up my ass, right? Because the idea being that as long that is what defines not just having a dick up your ass or being a bottom, not just defines the sexual activities you want to engage in, it defines your persona. You then become that punk that took a dick, right? That's sissy. You're emasculated, right? Exactly the point. So I find that more in the Black and brown and people of color communities, more Black and brown. I'm just gonna say that Black and brown. And I think those dudes are just dudes who think, once again, that I can say I'm not gay, queer, a sissy, a punk, or a fag if I can say I've never had a dick up my ass. You know what I'm saying? So if a girl asks me, "Oh, have you ever had sex with a dude?" It's no, I ain't no gay, I ain't no punk, I ain't no sissy, because you're defining it in its I've never had a penis up my butt. But if you dug deeper and said well, have you ever sucked a dick? Because I fucked a dude in high school. There's a dude he was picking on me. We have a very long history of him like picking on me in middle school. Blah blah blah.
That sounds like a fantasy for a lot of people. They bully, they end up fucking
And in high school we were generally cool because we just kind of split off into different cliques, if you will. And then but we lived right next door. We lived a block away from each other. Like our houses were I was on one end of the block, he was on the other end of the block. So we took the bus home from school. We saw each other all the fucking time, in the neighborhood. And then probably senior in high school, some shit went down, blah blah blah. He was at my house. I don't know, never been over to my house before because I was a kid that he just never hung out with. And all of a sudden, I'm sucking his dick on on my bed when my mom's away or whatever. And then he asked me if he could fuck me, and I was just like, we've known each other for at least, I don't know, 10 years by this point, maybe 8 years or something. And I was like, he's the one that initiated that. And so to that point, did he ever come out as gay or queer or something? No, to this day, he probably still proclaims to be straight, 100% straight. Never fucked a dude a day in his life, even though he fucked me with, cocoa butter lotion on my bed. And polyamory has to play into it a lot too, right? Because I have 2 boys. I never thought I would be in that scenario. So, one of my boys is more verse, and then one is very much a bottom, but he's a little verse bottom. He's so cute though.
You got 2 cuties over there. You got 2. 2 cuties.
Yeah.
Wait. So if you don't mind sharing, do you guys switch within each other? Have either of them topped you?
No, neither one of them have topped me. I've talked about it with my alpha boy, ISF, if you want to find him on Twitter at ISF. But he is, he's more of a true verse, maybe a little verse toppy, but a verse. And he's all, because he's smaller, as y'all know. The primary is a little small. Well, they're both small, but he's skinnier and smaller, and he has this whole thing about I think to Mark's point, topping daddies, right? So I was like, yeah, we'll get to that point eventually. I love him with all my heart, so I want to make him happy, and I like it. Yeah, and I don't mind bottoming. I bottom for other people, so why wouldn't I bottom for someone that I actually care about, right? And then the other boy is the beta is cute and adorable as well, but mostly bottom. He mostly wants everything shoved up his butt, right? So so with him, that isn't even really a question. He's not interested in fucking me. He only wants me.
Wait. Let me interrupt the conversation for a second to bring a bit of data. According to information published on Vice.com and ScientificAmerican.com, roughly 50% of people who choose to indicate their position select versatile, and the other is near even split amongst tops and bottoms. But where it gets interesting is that in actual practice, it's the verse people who tend to actually shift to either top or bottom, while those who indicated top tend to actually, top. I shared this information with Darius and Mark. You think it changed their minds?
No, because people, to that point, a lot of people do lie or have an assumption about a thing. People just, a lot of times, I think a good way to also look at this is just people give you in the world, on the internet, whatever you are expecting of them. I think we take out this idea of expectations, and actually in reality, when someone sees, for example, if the guy sees me on Scruff or on Grindr, the majority of the conversations are, oh my God, don't you want to fuck me with your big black dick? And I'm like, you didn't read my profile, did you? Not saying I'm not talking about my dick size. You know what I'm saying? My profile has anything about my dick size in it. But the point being is I'm not necessarily that dude that you're coming to with this whole big black dick fantasy, right? So people, I think on the internet, people have these expectations, and then they kind of either follow through with that. Also, I want to, they kind of try to live up to those things rather. And then also I want to just say, like, it's also interesting how people, someone told me once, they're like, when someone tells you what position they have in sex, so top, dom, verse, fully bottom, whatever, they always say deduct one. Deduct one. So like go down one. So if someone says, oh, I'm a verse bottom, you just assume they're a full bottom. If someone says I'm fully verse, depending on how they go, they could be either or, right? But if someone says I'm a full top, you assume they're just a verse top. While if someone says I'm a verse top, you assume that they're more fully versed, right? You're always kind of
I think this is why I always end up feeling attacked, and why I wanted to create this video, because no one. I mean, you know what? I feel you. I think I hear where you come from. Wait, what you say, Mark?
I was like, this is your little personal project. How cute.
Yeah, my little personal project right here. Yeah. I'm not trying to discount that experience, right? Because I've experienced that myself. So people definitely lie about it. I'm definitely not discounting that part of it. So yeah, I'm not necessarily here to change your mind, but just wanted to make sure that like I got y'all's perspective on it, because I see it differently. And I'm making a video. I'm like, I gotta have the other side of this argument on here. So I'm glad you guys are able to like be honest. And
but you're the exact example of your argument that there aren't any total tops, because you are a guy who is currently identified as a total top. But you did take a dick up your ass at some point in your life.
That wasn't the point. The point is that, like, yeah, he's been bottom before, now he's just full top, right? Like, like for people who fuck girls, now gay, they've been total gay, right? It's just like, it can shift throughout your life. That's not the point. The point is, like, top now or not, right? And, well, here's maybe that question for you. Do you think total tops can change?
Yes.
Total tops.
No, I think it can change. I don't think sexuality is necessarily like fixed in stone for it. I think it can change. Yeah.
And then if that's the case of like, then yeah, I totally agree that it's total tops. Right. There was a total top 6 months ago, and now he's not. So I agree.
Wait, who was?
I think.
Not me.
The two guys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah, and it's just like, yeah, then I totally agree. Yes, of course, right.
I guess some people would say that means you're not a total top, right? If there's a chance that some future date.
That's what I'm saying. What's the definition? That's probably we should have started with that. What's the definition of a total top?
I think that's
never been fucked, or you've been fucked but now you don't like to, and then you might or you might not. Like it's a definition, right? Like And so maybe we should start with that.
Yeah, is total top a state of being or a reflection of your current condition? Can I get like hella mental about this shit? Can I get like super academic? Is being a total top a constant state of being, or is it a temporary state of being?
Well, since I use the term to identify myself as a total top, I fall on the side of it's where you're at now. Like, it's where you're at now. And the reason why I land on total top, because to be honest with you, like when I first formed my pack, like when I first met Parker, when he read my recon profile and my FetLife profile, they both said 90% top. So at that time, I was recognizing that it's unlikely that I'm going to bottom, but leaving the door open for it. But as the years went on and my interest never came back, I was like, well, maybe I should just fucking like take it off the table so that I don't waste anyone's time. Like, this is not where I see happening. I can't picture it coming back. Maybe it will, but I don't picture that coming back. Like, this is where I see myself now. This is where I'm at.
There's hope. He keeps coming back to this. There's hope. There's hope. Like if I massage his back in the right way, Mac will the doors will open to Valhalla.
Yeah, so to answer your question, like that's how I see it. Like I see it as something like to where you identify now, and that's how I got to this place, because realistically, it just wasn't something I started seeing as possible really anymore. Yeah, so I got one other question for you, Mark, particularly about this topic. So essentially, one of the things you said in this video was that you feel like there are people are like protecting their machismo when they say no to like bottom and shit like that. It's all about like them trying to protect a rep or something like that, right? So is that how you feel? My approach is with you, like you feel like I'm coming from a place of like just trying to protect my rep, because I want you to see, recognize the real authentic.
We haven't spent that much time with each other, so that's fine.
What do you say?
We haven't spent that much time with each other, so
yeah, okay.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Awkward. No,
it's a question.
Two guys, like I've had like legitimate relationships, like not like romantic or anything, but like legitimate, like we've known each other for a long time, messed around for a long time, type of thing. Like
Now I was more so saying like me right here, because I feel the sexual tension. It's so palpable. It's like coming through the internet right now.
Oh, damn. Like, you think YouTube can see it? Like, can YouTube see it too? Like YouTube
every time I look at Mac, all I see is sex. I mean, like, first of all, if you've never seen, go to Mac's pages, look at him in rubber. First of all, you won't see a sexy black man in rubber.
I appreciate that.
All day long. Also, a sexy black man.
We got pictures in rubber together, looking definitely dope. So
my rubber is not up to your snuffs, but it's cute. But also, sexy black man in skin gear. That's Mac.
Well, I appreciate y'all for coming in and talking with me on it,
and
like going online and showing y'all cute little faces online and all that, and let me exploit y'all. I appreciate it.
First of all, any day of the week.
Oh, well, then you
text Venture.
All right, and he's gonna text Venture. I think this is a great place to end. He's gonna text Venture his dick pics. So Mark is gonna see it.
Alright, that was a fun conversation. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I think their opinions are in line with how most people think on the subject. But I continue to believe that total tops are completely real, even in situations like mine where I was open to bottoming in my younger days, but have since lost interest. One thing I think we clearly identified is that bottom shaming is still way too prevalent in our community, and it causes people to live less honestly. So we have some work to do in that area. But now I'd like to hear from you. Do you believe in total tops? Tell me about your experiences in the comments. I'm very interested in hearing from you about this particular topic. And thanks for watching this vlog. And please be sure to hit that like button. I mean, you made it this far anyway, so I hope you enjoyed it. You can find me and my pack on our social media channels, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at MacCastMedia. I've also included the links to the articles that I referenced in the description, so check them out. You never know, you may have a different opinion on the data than I did. And with that, till next time everyone, stay safe, stay home, and bye for now.